All right. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We appreciate it. We're going to be jumping straight in. We've had one player that was missing a couple of sessions, so we're going to kind of get her caught up on the story, and then I don't know what's going on with DJ Weaver, but hopefully he'll be with us next week. So so I apologize for any delays. We're going to be jumping into it, picking up where we left off. Man, we actually kind of left off at a kind of an interesting time, a decision for the players. So, welcome to the channel. My name is Shane Kirby. This is a game called Vurt. Well, Vurt, the role-playing game by Raven Desk Games. It uses Cipher system, and it's kind of a dystopian cyberpunk thing set in Manchester. Although, if you're here to see a terrible British accent, you're not gonna get it. So, or Manc accent, whatever you call it. I'm not even gonna try. Butcher an entire population. Just pretend every word I say is with a Manc accent. Okay, so use your imagination. It's already D&D or well something like it. You can do it. I believe in you. But and but we're jumping in. We had some players get some advances, and they're kind of doing that kind of stuff now. And advancing is how you level in this system. And last episode, we kind of left at a moment where the players had helped out. The player characters had helped out a sort of, I guess, acquaintance, a friend, but a kind of an influential and kind of powerful individual named, two people named Vanish and Neil Kumar, who are dream weavers by trade, and they had an issue with some mob guys of the criminal element, and the players kind of helped him out and things. But there was some interesting stuff that came about from that. One, now they have an awesome contact who's pretty powerful and influential in the underworld scene of Manchester. But then also on top of that, one of the other cool things is that right there at the end, all these screens are lit aglow with a 16-bit style image of like a humanoid cat, right, in clothes, with a knife sticking out of his head, and it says in 8-bit, 16-bit style font, um, "The game cat is dead. Long live the game cat." Okay, so Paige, Robin's character, actually wasn't there. So we're gonna, before we jump back to them, I kind of want to have a short talk with her about what that means for her, and what she's been doing during this time. But we're gonna go around and introduce players. So Jeremy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Um, I am. I'm playing Even One, who's part robot, part virtual being, who does math magical spells and control butterflies. And last episode, I got to do both of those things to
Yeah,
some fun effect.
yeah. Well, good deal, good deal. I'm glad you got to use them. It'd been a while. Um,
Ah,
And it's one of those things that, I think I'll have to in the design more, I guess, pay attention to. It's not one of those things that can just like be thrown into every situation unless you just like,
no,
let's make it work. Well, it's like
no,
if your
I'm not
character
complaining.
made, what is it, the drivers, like a
Yeah.
driver. It's like playing a Shadowrun and making a Decker in Bug City.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, Paige, sorry, Robin, how are you doing?
I'm good, other than being a little sick, but I'm Robin and I play Paige, the dogman math magician who has done some time in her past.
Yeah, and that's actually something that might be haunting you today.
Yep.
That past, that done in that doing that time. Uh, Sean, how are you doing today?
Not too bad. And I am playing Maxwell Hack Martin, who is the Robo-Man Vurt. And he is basically the team's electronics hacker technical guy.
Yep.
And I can actually communicate pretty much with computers via my sort of like up, I guess, or connection
Yeah.
that I have due to my robo nature. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it can also make it to where you can do things like wirelessly connect with other computers and things like that. So yeah. So
Right.
So we'll jump to the last person, Jeff. So what are you gonna be playing today, bud?
I am playing the stray dog with with amnesia who stumbled upon this group of this motley crew and just kind of taken upon himself to help them out. He's a German Shepherd, and he's pretty tough.
That he is. That he is. So, all right. Okay. So we're going to talk with Robin first and Paige. So some time has passed since the last time you guys went into the black and yellow feather eating Lost. Okay. So things have been kind of relatively normal. Well, as normal as they can be, but they, been doing their thing, trying to just make their lives, that kind of stuff and that kind of thing like that. What kind of shenanigans has Paige been getting into, or has she been avoiding shenanigans? Like, what has she been up to?
Well, I wouldn't say she's been avoiding shenanigans per se. She's probably definitely, making contacts with people. That's like her favorite thing to do. To acquire, I guess. Hey, I know a guy. Hey, I know a guy. Hey, I know a guy. She wants to, make as many contacts as you can, and especially because she's been kind of trying to get information on Victoria, I think her name was, the creepy lady who brought me back to life, or something along those lines, or whatever.
But she didn't give you all her money.
Yes. So I've been, I guess, trying to weasel information out of people. In the meantime, I guess making deals or whatever I have to do, I guess.
Yes.
For all of that kind of stuff.
All right, cool. And I think we talked about that being something also too that Jeremy's character Mike can help with because of his connection to the math magician community. Because your character was more like the equivalent of like a sorcerer, in D&D, where like they didn't really have to get educated to get do what they do. Yeah. So. Yeah. But okay, so sweet. You definitely want to do something with Victoria, and I planned for that. So this session, most of the prep was, I don't have a hook per se, but I've been planning and prepping what I can do depending on what you guys are wanting to go down. And so that's good to know.
I'm here for the party.
and Jeremy, since we're not going to be jumping into that, obviously, because we're still in that scene we're in. But what is your character? Not you. What is your character? Does he want to have anything to do with Galamain, or does he? What does he think about that?
He wants to find Galamain to question him and figure out if there's a way to fix my condition and not, die.
I do remember that because we discussed that if anyone had any clue how to fix the condition, maybe it was the guy who fucking did it to you. So
exactly.
Yes, and so with Sean, Sean is kind of the one who got us in this mess in this current scene from last episode because the contacts of him and his sisters and stuff, and so we're going to. Well, let me think about Paige for a minute. I'll come back to her. So I know I said I was going to do it first, but I'm going to have to kind of see what you guys are doing and then use that time to ponder over what we're going to do for her. So Hack, Stray, Even, and we'll just say DJ wandered off in the corner somewhere. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. So you guys are in this room. You've put the droid-locked brothers, Neil and Vanish, on the couch. And what's funny is you guys haven't cleared out the dead bodies yet. They're just like dead bodies everywhere, like burned and blackened from the Girly Eternal Flame doll just exploding in the middle of the fucking room, almost leaving the room just burned and scorched. Thank goodness it didn't light on fire, but the walls are blackened, and so you're in this room with them, and when we last left, you saw those video footages, and you questioned him about it. And he gave you a little bit of information, what little he knew, because it caught him off guard as well. And basically the idea is that it could be like a call-out. Like if the game cat actually died, which he doesn't know that. But you guys... You know that you brought a guy back from Eden Lost that wanted to kill Jeffrey Catterick. And I think Even actually knew Jeffrey Catterick was Game Cat, correct?
Yeah, we decided that near the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So you knew who he was, and you probably thought at the time it wasn't doable. And maybe it isn't doable. You don't even know if it is doable. You don't even know if it actually happened, right?
Right.
So you just know that there's like video camera footages, like getting put to everybody's screens that are influential in certain communities that are getting this thing, and no other information is dropped that anybody knows about. So what are your characters thinking about this situation?
Let's see. I'm thinking that I thought GameCat had like figured out a way to become part of the Vurt, and now I'm like, wait, is he actually killable or not? Maybe he.
Yeah, I thought he was a god, basically.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And it's occurring to me, oh, if I can't find Galamane, maybe I could find GameCat or these other guys.
It's actually a good point. If anybody's got the power to free you from your condition, it's the Game Cat.
Yeah.
That's actually... Okay, Okay, yes. I've got more information connected to that. It just popped in my head. That's awesome. That's a good plot thread, potentially. All right, but I'm going to hold on to that one. Okay. So what are you guys doing? Like, they're just, like, they're on the couch. Like, one of them is basically half dead, I mean, DJ Weaver was dragging him across the floor by his droid locks, ripped them off his head, and... But he's still got some entwined in there, but they're pretty effed up.
Yeah, I remember I was doing or trying to heal, or at least some first aid for them, so I'd probably still be doing that.
Okay, so maybe you're finishing up that, figuring out that there's not much you can do, because remember we just determined that there wasn't a way to help them a whole lot. So
yeah, my roll's
I think you did fail, yeah. What about Stray? Jeff, what is Stray doing?
I'm keeping an eye on the one that we have tied up.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for the reminder, Jeff. Shit, I forgot. Looking intimidating. That's nice. Being intimidating is always good when you're a pure dog. All right. So, okay, so that's what Jeff's doing. So, yeah, what do you do anything connected to that? You guys gonna maybe see if you can do anything with that? Or is it just going to be stuck here? Call the cops or anything?
Well, I remember that the twins were like, just, they didn't say it, but they pantomimed, like, just get rid of him.
Yeah, they wanted to kill him.
Yeah, they just want to kill him, yeah.
But I don't know that I've taken that moral step sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think anybody...
Has it weighed on anyone yet that you might have freed a murderer from the Vurt?
Well, that's going to be my next, like, talking to the twins.
I like the idea, though, that, like, maybe your character was smart enough to come to the decision that Jeffrey Catterick was the Game Cat. But I love the idea that, like, it didn't take until seeing the fucking stabbed cat on, like, the video screen and the whole statement of the game, then you're like, oh, that's why it's Catterick.
Yeah.
I love the idea
that's
that,
exactly
like,
what happened. He's preoccupied with his own problems.
That's when you see one of those, like, what is it, Limitless style, like, montages on the screen of, like, numbers and, like, math, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, I'm ignoring the guy in the corner that the dog is growling at and sort of mumbling, thinking out loud to Hack and the twins that, okay, wait, we freed this guy. I forgot his name right now, but and he wanted to kill the game cat. So, and lady that helped us get him out was super powerful. Maybe they did. And what the hell did they do with the unicorn horn? I don't know. There are a lot of open ends here, and that's it. He just sort of stops. Brain has train of thought ends.
Yeah. So
Any ideas, Hack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing. Come
I,
on, Sean. You
it's
got
a hard
nothing?
one.
I think he's, trying to heal the guys. I think I'm just not feeling real great about
Hey, I saw in a movie once, I think it was called Snatch, where you just cut the body up in little pieces and you find a bunch of pigs and you just throw them in there with the pigs. Right?
I'm just hoping the dog deals with it and we turn around and is like, oh, good, he's dead. Let's leave.
The dog is, I don't know, he's.
You leapt up and like took out 2 guys' necks last time.
Yeah, it was like a murdering spree last game.
Because they were going to kill us. Like.
It's like you didn't know cop dogs operated that way. So.
What are we? I mean, so we don't want to let this guy go. Yeah.
Well,
Maybe if an ex-con shows up.
I went to you guys
Here's the
to
thing.
buy me time to deal with how to figure out what Paige's character, but your guys are lost. So that's true. Jeff's character, he can't really give ideas. Yeah,
You could if I was there.
that's a good point. Yes. Like, and then walks
The guy we have
Paige.
is a half dog, so you can like talk to him. He's not going to communicate.
But he's not going to tell you, hey, the dog said cut him up in pieces and, feed him to pigs. He's not going to say that. I mean, so. So, you know what? You guys think it over in character, discuss it, and I'm going to go to Paige. And, okay, so, Paige, for the, probably the best thing for the stream would be to say that, like, maybe for some reason Jeremy and you haven't progressed on finding someone that he knows that could help you, but you've been doing it on your own, and I like the idea that maybe like your best source of contacts is underworld contacts.
Okay.
And so you would be looking for a person that I would think if you were in underworld and wanted to learn something about a Vurt being, you would start with a feather dealer or a dreamweaver, I would think.
That's right. That sounds great.
And so, you know what? I'm going to start you off in a... We'll just say that you're actually about to meet a person, and you're going to meet him in a dive bar or something, but he's actually not in his territory because you requested maybe a meet in a different place or something. He's not in his usual territory. And you're going to meet him, and I should have my book open already, but I forgot to open it. In the Vurt book, let me see what his name was. I could describe him though. He looks like a man with cyber elements, but he has like sunglasses, but they're like welded into his skin, like almost they replace his eyes.
Okay.
And he's got a kick-ass high-top mullet.
Nice.
Yes.
I
I mean, and I'm a person who just thinks those things are ridiculous, but it's kick-ass. I mean, I say it's kick-ass. I promise it's kick-ass. So,
Yeah.
and he's just kind of like, he's sitting across from you, or like maybe you sit down together in this local dive bar, and he just kind of slinks up and lazily sits beside you, and this is kind of his thing. You know, he never seems to take life too seriously, and he's got a Hawaiian style shirt on,
Nice.
and so he's got a cigarette in his hand. And well, no, actually, I could see this is the kind of guy that in 2070 something would be vaping. So
Okay.
it's a vape pen. So and so he's a feather dealer mostly, and so you haven't met him before, but you were sent to him because of the contacts that he has. So
Okay.
so let's just begin like you never met him, and introductions need to be made, and you've just sat down at the table across from him, and he hasn't yet. He's still got. You can't see his eyes because he's got those black sunglasses on, and he's vaping away. So what do you do?
Okay, real quick. I know his name though, right?
Yes, I was actually
what was his
getting to that. Yeah. I get the damn thing to pull up. Hold on. Ooh,
Sorry.
me. No, it's okay. I should have had it ready. Let's see.
Darn characters always wanted
I
to
know.
know other characters'
I
names.
know. If this was D&D, I'd just come up off the top of my head and just be done with it. Just like
I've
make sure you
done
write
that
this
many a
down.
time. Their name
But-
is Jane. No.
I've done that. Yes. Man, what was his name? Shit.
He feels like a. I don't know. I got mullet stuck in my head.
Oh yeah,
so
he's hard to
Leroy.
miss because he actually has the. In a minute, I'll try to put it in Fantasy Grounds
Yeah,
because he
boy.
actually has. He's a picture of him in the actual book.
Oh, nice.
Nasty Dave.
Nasty Dave. Okay.
Yes, I don't know where he got nasty from, but
Oh man, I feel like my character needs an adjective for her name now. All right.
well, you're telling me you're trying to be like the mullet, high top mullet
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Like these are my. This is like my people.
He's
you
your
know?
hero?
So I feel
Nice.
like yeah. Okay. All right. So I sit down and I'm like, Nasty Dave. I'm Paige.
Do you say Dave or do you say Nasty Dave or Nasty? Like, how do you introduce
Yeah.
yourself to someone called
I just
Nasty
say
Dave?
it like as nonchalantly as I possibly can. I just
Mhm.
sit down
Yes.
directly across from him, like questioningly. You're Nasty Dave? I'm Paige. What's up?
He says, yeah.
Great. All right.
You buying?
So, I mean, if you got a moment, I've got a moment. I feel like we could talk.
You know I sell feathers, right? You're here for feathers, right?
Yeah, feathers and
All
stuff.
right.
You know.
Okay. What kind
So,
of feathers?
well, what kind of feathers do you have?
Well, the kind you
that
don't get from Vurt you want.
Well, shit.
Blacks, yellows, some pinks.
Ooh, you know, I'm a big fan of the yellows. So, what do you got on hand?
Well, I've got this one I've been trying to get rid of for a while, but I hear it's an amazing experience if you like a thrill ride. The price just went down, and he slides across the feather in front of you. I'm curious, make a identifying roll to see if your character recognizes the feather.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Yeah, that is a
Sweet.
that is a black with a little bit of yellow in its mouth.
Okay, so it's more black than yellow.
No, I'll say it's about halfway. It's about halfway.
Okay.
Yeah, half and half.
Can I?
It's a little more intense than the one Jeremy lost his arm on.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna look at it without touching it because I don't want to be rude, right? Like
Right.
I'm not a rude person, so I'm gonna look at it, and my face is as stoically as possible. I'm gonna try and say this to him. Well, I've got some friends that I am trying to, get in on some thrill rides with me. They love it. I'm trying to like lie through my teeth here, but so I would be definitely interested in purchasing this from you. However, I'll throw in once you name your price, I might be able to throw in some extra if you might be able to glean some information for me, good sir.
All right. He says, but before I even talk about what you're talking about, because I know you're not talking about feathers, it's going to cost you 100 quid before we even start, because you're costing me time here.
Oh yeah, man, time is money. I know something about that, wasting people's time for sure. So, sure, 100 quid. Let's talk. Do you know a woman named Victoria?
It's a common name. Can you describe her a little bit?
You know, I would, but I have a really good feeling you know what Victoria I'm talking about.
Can scary beyond all reason be used here?
Ooh.
She have smoke coming off of her? About 5'8". Kind of scary looking, to be honest. If you were going to describe someone named Victoria, I would say she's scary looking.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're definitely on the same page. So, what do you know about her?
Oh, the price went up. 200 quid. Now you remember out of character, you can try to persuade him otherwise. But
Right. I'm gonna.
what's funny is you're spending all that money Victoria gave you to go try to kill her.
All right. So as a player to my DM, I'm going to attempt to subtly look like a badass. Oh my god, I love him. I love him already. So my character, she's really full of herself, right?
Right,
So,
right.
She thinks she's imposing. Whether other people think she's imposing, that's on you. Obviously, you're the DM.
Right,
but
right,
anyways,
right.
so I've got my brass knuckles on, and I'm gonna start kind of cracking my fists, trying to look like like a street thug badass that I think I am. And I'll say 200 quid, but you tell me everything you know about Victoria.
Okay, this will require an intimidation check.
Okay,
But
all right, let's do it.
I'll set the difficulty at. Let me see his stats. Let me see Nasty Dave, because he actually has stats. Difficulty 4. So
All right.
it's a great time to talk about the fact that you increased your effort. So that's one way you can make the difficulty easier. However,
Yes.
I don't think you'd need to spend 3 effort on a. You only got to roll 12 or higher. Up to
Right.
you. But yeah, you could definitely intimidate this guy.
I am going to spend 1 effort once I figure out how to do that.
Okay, so yeah, actually that's something new that has changed. What you'll do is you'll still roll the untrained dice,
Okay.
but you don't have to put it in as an asset in Fancy Grounds anymore. You can just down at the bottom left-hand corner
Nice.
by the modifier star, you see what's called effort there.
Mhm.
Just click that and just apply the number of times you're going to do effort. And if you also have edge, you can also insert in that edge little spot. You won't see any indication that it's clicked. Just start typing the number, and it will fill it in
Oh, no,
when you click it.
Oh, I see.
Like you have edge of 1 across the entire board. Just
Okay, I got
just
it.
click.
Yeah.
I would put 1 in the edge box and just leave it there, since you got them across the board of 1, and then
Okay.
just put And then once
Alright,
you
so-
roll, it'll automatically. It should do it.
Nice. I'm not trained in intimidation, so it'll be an untrained roll. But here we go. Let's see. Oh my god.
I thought you were going to spend effort.
Shit.
Did it not? I put 1 in the effort.
Oh, it still ain't enough.
I
If it's
guess
just if you're just spending 1, wasn't enough.
Oh.
Now keep in mind this actually ties into what we talked about advancement, where we're using the house rule, where your advancement XP and your reroll XP is separate. You have 2 XP left over. This is for rerolls and stuff. Just keep in mind you can use that now without taking away from your actual character advancement. So, yeah, up to you.
So that would be
He
just
says-
for a reroll.
He says, "I'm sorry."
So I could just spend experience just to try it again.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's
know
only
what?
200 quid, but at the same time, he might raise the price just because you
Yeah.
failed. So,
I'm gonna see what he says.
okay. He says, "Oh, she's tricky, and she's also extremely dangerous. So, if I send you to her, it better damn well be worth it for me." And so, things just went up. Oh, you know what? When you come up with 1,000 quid, you come find me, okay? All right.
All right.
And he like sucks a giant drag off that vape pen, and then starts to put it down and slowly get out of his seat. But you have a chance to interject here.
Okay, all right. Before you go, I understand your time is money. I got that. I'll respect that. Just keep this in mind before you go. If I hunt Victoria down, whatever, surely she has something you want. I could take it for you. I've got a crew. I know people. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. You're allowed to make another persuasion check, but I will reduce the difficulty by 1. So that will be a difficulty 3 persuasion.
Shit. Okay. All right, let's do it. That would... Okay, yeah.
And I'll reduce the difficulty because you come up with a...
I don't know why
I roll 3
so
dice.
many times.
Well, the first one succeeded, though. So that's the one that matters.
Okay.
So, all right, so he says, all right, well, she's got a couple things that I've had my eye on for a while. In fact, a lot of people in the Vurt community would love to get a hold of because she's a... She is... I don't really know how else to say this other than she's a princess? That's the closest equivalent. Yeah, well, there's a place inside the Vurt that's hard to reach for people like me and you. And it's in the darkest, deepest parts of the Vurt world. And typically you can only get there through yellow feathers like this one I've got on the table right here. Or have a little shadow in your blood. Or go through a terrible near-death experience and hope to slip on into the Vurt. So it's hard to get to these shadow realms. If they were going to be called something, I don't think we've ever... Well, there's not a whole lot of science on these things. So, I can, but I'm going to want a little bit from you. And that is, I hear she has certain items to represent her royalty. And I would like one of those things because I believe there's quite a bit of power in that kind of stuff. Whenever a Vurt being clings on to something long enough, especially one as powerful as her, it starts to kind of have an effect on things around them, things they possess. And also, too, well, just because it would be wonderful to get to pawn off a princess's fine Vurt jewelry or heirlooms. So, if you bring me back all of her royal possessions that you acquire in the killing of this girl, then we could, yeah, sure, I'll give you more information about her.
Done deal. And I put 400 quid on the table and I say, that's for the feather and your time.
And then he slides the feather across the table to you and he says, her father isn't just the royalty king of this shadow realm, but kind of like a gatekeeper, if you will, to keep the living out of Dusk Town. Okay, so Dusk Town is the first place people tend to go when they get onto this Vurt, and a lot of people speculate that Dusk Town is where you really go when you die. But that's, we don't really know, to be honest. We're talking about territory that, I don't think anybody's ever come back from. The fact that I'm even telling you this means I'm just sending you to your true death. I'm never going to see you again. So,
say that. But we'll see each other.
If
again.
you made it back, you'd be more famous than ever before, and you'll forget about old Nasty Dave. So yeah, so you've got 3 ways you can get down to Dust Town. Near-death experience, and have fun with that one. Hitch a ride with a shadow being.
I've already been there.
Hitch a ride with a shadow being, or some really dark stuff and a nasty yellow feather. Well, just like that one I slid across the table to you.
And I like paw it and put it in my pocket, and I just kind of like wink at him. I guess we'll do that, and I say, "Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and I can assure you, we will talk again soon."
All right. And then are you gonna get up to leave, or what are you doing now at this point? Okay, so as you get up to leave, he says, "You know, man, I can't let you do this without telling you. Oh man. All right, how are you planning on killing her?"
Okay. My character is not as indecisive as I am.
Right.
So she would say, "Oh, I'll figure it out."
So you have a weapon that can destroy powerful Vurt beings.
Not a weapon per se, but I am stronger than I look.
He kind of chuckles, and he only stops chuckling because he gets a real hankering to hit that vape pen, and he and he says, "Oh, sweetie, it doesn't matter how powerful you are. When you live in the Vurt and spend that much time in the Vurt, the physical world ain't got nothing on you. You need a weapon
Okay.
of the Vurt, a good
You got
one."
something to tell me about then?
He says, "Well, there's a number of feathers that are, most of them are pretty much hard to come by, very expensive. And there's not even one in this Innsmouth feather I've given you. But some dream weavers are just good enough that they can craft a weapon inside the Vurt.
Okay.
Exact specifications, exact design. It can be moved over the real world and function just like a normal weapon. And I can think of a few feathers off the top of my head, but unfortunately I don't have any of those right now. And this is actually a good time to mention, I think I told you before, but I'll let you make an identifying roll since it's kind of intellect and memory related and it's kind of related to what you know, to see if you remember something about a feather you currently have. Make it a difficulty. I told you. It's a memory test, so I'll reduce difficulty by 1 because I did tell you. So it's going to be a 4 instead of a 5. So 4.
Okay. Really quick refresher. Am I supposed to be spending points from those pools? Like from my intellect pool when you say what the difficulty is?
No.
No.
That's only if you're spending effort. You spent effort though. Well, no, you actually haven't spent effort yet. So.
Well, I spent 1 effort, but I didn't realize it wasn't going to do anything. So.
Okay. No, you're good. If you spent 1 effort, I think it would have you'd lost 2 points from your pool because you have an edge of 1.
Okay. All right.
So it'd be 15 instead of 17.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm doing everything right.
No, you're good. You're good. You're only spending them when you use effort. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. So identifying roll for the feather.
Yeah. Difficulty 3. There you go. Okay. The life and death of A.J. McCallum, which you have possession of. If you manage to get A.J. McCallum's gun, revolver, it was expertly crafted to function exactly as a real revolver. And that feather has taken on kind of near mystical level of, what do you call it, like fame in the Vurt community. And it's basically been saturating itself sitting in the Vurt for ages. And it's about the closest thing you're going to get to a weapon that can actually kill someone like Victoria. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm going to get me a revolver. You got anything else you want to tell me?
Do you actually say you're gonna get your character say she's gonna get you a revolver?
Yeah, I'm gonna give me a revolver. I'm like hyped up. I'm amped up now.
He kind of looks at you and turns his head and says, "All right then."
Look, you'll remember me. I'll remember you. We'll see each other again. I promise. This 20 minutes you've just spent with me will be the most memorable 20 minutes of your life. You'll look back on this someday. You'll tell your grandkids about this someday. You'll be like, that girl, Paige. Yeah, I knew her. I helped her. Yeah, I was the first one. Trust me, you won't regret this.
All right. It's funny. It's funny. She's like, she's trying to convince him, and he's like, "Yeah, you're dead. I ain't worried about you."
And I'm just like so full of myself.
I got
I'm
double
like,
price for a feather. So
I'm like on cloud 9. I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I got
Yeah.
everything I need. So
nice.
yeah, I put my hand out to shake his hand.
Okay, yeah, he accepts your hand, and he shakes it. You can tell that, like, for a robot man, like, he's got really hairy hands.
Okay.
Really hairy, which is
So
kind of
do
odd
I.
for right.
But,
Well, so I looked at the picture, and he's even got like that little, puff. So,
yeah.
so yeah, for a Cyberman, that's probably quite odd. So, and he shakes your hand, and he just kind of goes back to his drink and his vape, and
And I turn around and like my next mission is to go back to meet up with her to find where everybody's.
yeah, because you're not gonna be able to go into either Black Innsmouth or
Yeah.
AJ Life and Death of AJ McCallum by yourself. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's my next. I'm like I gotta go tell the guys this, whatever. So
Yep. Convince them to go back into another black feather with you. So,
yeah, that's right. Exactly.
you're trouble. You're trouble. They never did this kind of stuff until you got here. All right. All right, so back to you guys in this lights flickering because a bomb went off in this room. All you guys in this room with these two Joy-Lot brothers and a guy zip tied to a chair. Or, sorry, a dog person zip tied to a chair. What do you guys do?
Follow everybody else's lead.
Yeah, so we've got this guy here. Nobody wants to kill him. But I think the thing is, he was going to kill us, right?
Well, I mean, you were going to stop him. He was committing a highly illegal deed when you came in. I mean, he would have made sure you
Right.
died. I mean,
Yeah, so I don't see the problem with just shooting him in the head.
You're the one with the gun.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So while he's taking care of that, I
Yeah.
want to ask the twins about crap. What is the bad guy's name in my head? Innsmouth, and how Vurt beings have come out of the Vurt before.
You're asking me as the GM how Burt
No,
Beans have come
I'm
out?
asking the twins if they
Oh.
know about that happening before.
Oh. He says, I keep getting confused as to which one. I should have wrote it down which one got hurt. I think it's Neil that actually got his droid locks damaged and got hurt. So we're going to go with Vanish. Vanish says, he said, yeah, it happens from time to time, but it usually happens because of the rules of exchange.
Yeah, but is there like a time window for that? Because it wasn't a 1-for-1 like at time of exit, because we both came out. And he hitched a ride. And I'm pointing my arm somewhere over here.
Well, then two people probably just got put back in the Vurt. What? Hold on. He said, "Did you come from the? You came from the Vurt, right? And you came back, but you came back with one person extra, right?
I'm gonna say yes. I think Jeremy can't remember exactly.
Technically, Jeremy was already in a feather, or was
Yeah.
already in a Vurt place, but." technically, you were probably exchanged with someone else when you got pulled into where you were. Because you didn't have any control over it. But because you were actually pulled into the Vurt through Galamain and his powerful Vurt magic ritual. But you didn't actually go into an Innsmouth feather. He just pulled you back in the same feather you've been in before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, so it's very possible that you were already exchanged with someone else.
Check.
But if Galamain came through, there's very possible that someone else got sucked back to the Vurt.
Okay.
There could be two poor hapless souls. And they probably connected to you. Somebody in your life probably got pulled into the Vurt. You need to kind of look into that. You might want to look into that. Because it tends to it tends to affect people who, you know what I mean? Like where the source is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for example, in the book Vurt, when the, what they call him, the thing from outer space, the TFOS, they just call him that the entire book. When he came back through, Scribble's sister / girlfriend got sucked into the Vurt. So, yeah.
So, asking the twins, do you know a way to try and find? I'm assuming I need to find out where the other two people got left. No, it's probably where I originally saw him. So do you guys know anybody who's really good at tracking Vurt people that are in the real world?
Do they have a strong smell?
The best person to track a Vurt being in the real world would be a pure dog would probably be like the closest thing you can get. Like, or a Vurt being.
Yeah.
That like knows where Vurt beings go and like where they tend to hide in Manchester. That kind of thing.
Okay.
I think it happens so little that I wouldn't say there's a job of a person that does it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because most people don't take black feathers like crazy and do the rules of exchange, right? And if they do, it's small stuff like stealing items or something from the Vurt.
Yeah.
A cop might be able to help you if you're willing to deal with that sort.
I'll laugh at that. That's just ridiculous. Trust the cops.
Just the Manchester PD is so, what do you call it, uncorrupt and helping.
Hey, Hack, why were we here in the first place?
To save Kumar, I think. It was, what's her name sent you here to find out what happened to Kumar brothers.
Right.
And I just said, oh yeah, I'll go check it out. Because they couldn't get in the building. It had been locked down.
I'm with you.
I mean, out of character, Galani might be able to help you a little bit. Because she's a Vurt being and she had to hide for a little while.
Exactly.
If Jeff knew what Galamain smelled like, maybe he can kind of track him down if he's in the vicinity. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that was my other thought, but that's he disappeared days
Well,
ago.
remember I told you were kind of getting flashes in where like you'd sometimes see places where you weren't, and it would just be very fleeting, and you think that there might be a connection psychically to you and him still.
Okay. No, I did not remember that.
Oh, I'm glad I mentioned it then. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let my players think, and we're going to take a break real quick. Man, we'll be right back. Appreciate people for watching. So we're just gonna take a break, let everybody piss, that kind of thing. So, and I can stay on camera and talk to people and stuff if y'all want to. So we'll be right back about 2 or 3 minutes, hopefully, if they run real fast. So, all right, bye.